live. Okay. We're live now.
Okay.
Well, now you have to, hold on.
Now I have to move closer.
Yeah.
Over.
Okay.
I can't. Well, I think that
Well, hold on. Like, you're squishing on my dress. Okay.
Well, I think your chair should be more aligning.
Hi.
Hi. Oh, we really are live.
We are. I said we're live.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you could finish texting since
No,
it's
no,
so much more important than
I was
spending time with you.
I was calling you up. You don't
We are. I said we're live. Okay. Let me put on my glasses that are actually kind of dirty. Hi.
Hi.
I'm Imani.
I'm Imani's mom.
My name is Imani, and I'm 44 and a half, and my favorite color is purple.
I'm Imani's mom, and I'm about 1 month short of 68.
Yay.
And my favorite color is Kamala Harris.
That's not... See, I knew you were going to do that. I knew... Mom, what is your favorite color?
Kamala Harris.
No, it's not.
I've been on her campaign finance committee.
That's not a color. That's a person.
About 10 years.
What is? I'm going to give you a favorite color.
My favorite color is either, because I have a hard time. It's either blue or white.
It's not going to be white, so it's going to be blue.
It can be white.
No, I don't think that's it.
Because you can't make me my own. No.
Yes, I can.
I'm a Virgo.
I don't.
My favorite color is white.
I'm a Capricorn, and my favorite color. Hi, everybody. Hi.
Although I do love Prince, and he's purple.
That's why my favorite color is purple.
Oh, okay.
You should know that. I've said this before.
I love James Brown. I'm black and I'm brown.
What color?
So that would make my favorite color black.
Also, it might make your favorite color
black.
Indebted to the rest of your band members because you never paid any. He didn't.
He was a musical genius.
Mom, okay, he still had a really terrible time like paying people.
You know what?
And that's mad rude though.
A musical genius has to be given leeway.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I mean, all right. Hi. Okay.
Hi.
So
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
What color are they?
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
What is that? Brown,
Earth
clear,
is brown,
and orange.
Wind is bluish, and fire is red.
Okay, let's get to these questions.
Hi, Virginia.
Hi. So, hi, everybody.
Hi.
All right, so we're going to, hi, Alicia, and hi, I love you too, AO980. Okay. What made me want to be a doctor? I kind of answered this last time, but I can answer it a little bit more. It's not on this piece of paper.
I know, I saw it up there.
So, I wanted to be a doctor, I think, because
keep it brief.
I like very morbid things. I don't like scary movies, but I do actually like corpses. That sounds weird. I like the forensic pathology aspect of people who were recently deceased. But I didn't go into that. I went to psychiatry because you
like people who are recently deceased.
Because I like people who need a little help or a lot of help, and I can fix them and make it better. Mm-hmm. Okay. Question. Some of these are very clinical. Has there ever, so from Jamin Kushna, I think that's your name. Has there ever been a time during my career where I've been afraid of a patient? Not really. I mean, no, I've never been assaulted by a patient. I've never been, usually I'm a very big proponent of personal space. So this whole pandemic thing is great for me because I don't like people really touching me, and I like to just keep, I don't really like being close to most people. But,
Personal space. I was giving you more.
That being said, so what was I saying? Oh, so I usually, when I see patients who are very ill, I give them a lot of room. And I also have to read their body language. And, it's just, I don't know. It's just kind of, I just know I've never been attacked or assaulted by a patient, which has been really, really good. Also, when I do see patients who are severely mentally ill, I usually have someone else in the room with me just in case. So on the psychiatric unit, those people are typically mental health workers or nurses sometimes. Okay. Hi, Aisha. Okay. So here's a question for you. At what point did you realize you were doing a successful job as a parent? I'll answer this because I'm awesome. That's why. Okay, great. How would you like to answer that question?
Well, I had a good amount of fear about being a parent because you were unexpected.
I mean, I'm always unexpected, but I always bring it though.
And you
High
brought
fives.
it. She
High fives. Go ahead.
So she was unexpected, and I was in the middle of my master's program, and I was
for what? What did you get a master, or what? What were
I
you
was
getting
at
in master's?
Syracuse University, Newhouse School of Public Communications, getting a master's in newspaper journalism, and I was also in the Nation of Islam, as was your biological father, and shortly after we married, I was pregnant with you. Mentally, I wasn't ready for that. Emotionally, I wasn't ready for that, although I'd spent a good amount of time nurturing and beyond auntieing with my two little nieces.
Yes, you are.
So, I guess I realized I was successful when
I was born. So.
There was that. And in the first month or so, I was a little weird because I think I had postpartum depression.
Yeah.
For the first month.
Well, were you running around like testing? I used to test you. I'm like, are you breathing?
I would watch you sleep to make sure your chest was going up and down. I would hold you 24/7.
But then this starts to hurt like so bad.
One day, your biological father came home from work and I was holding you and crying, and he asked me what was wrong, and I said I was really hungry. Mm-hmm. And he asked me, well, why didn't I eat? And I said, because I couldn't cook anything while I was holding you. So I'd only been eating yogurt. And he smiled at me, took you from my arms, laid you down in the crib, and then cooked me dinner. And it dawned on me, I really could have put you down.
You could have, but I was kind of the same way with you.
So I was worried
honestly.
that something might happen to you.
Right.
And I was really scared.
Right.
But then after that, you were like, okay, you were a little crazy little girl, but you were okay.
Are you talking about the fact that I used to like to spin in circles
Spinning in circles a lot.
Yeah.
Taking my watch, jewelry,
and
chains, putting them into circles, and then putting them in a toy kitchen, telling me you were baking cakes. All the while I said, Imani,
I still do that.
Have you seen my bracelet?
No, it's a cake now. You're not asking the right questions. I can't help you if you don't communicate with me sufficiently.
I didn't understand how her mind worked, but at least it was alive, so I figured I was a successful.
Oh, great.
Well,
Okay. All right. You know what? We could take a question, or we can go live with someone.
Go live with someone.
I'm gonna pick this person in the middle who is, I think, Ronay. Ronay, like Lene, but Ronay.
Oh, not Renee, but Ronay.
Ronay, yeah. Well, we're waiting.
Ronay, are you there?
We're waiting for that.
Oh, something's happening.
Something's happening. You're in the dark.
You're in the dark, Ronay. Can we have shed a little light on the subject? Where are you?
Oh no.
Oh, she left.
Oh, she left. Oh.
Okay. Well, go get somebody else.
I'll get somebody else. Hold on one second.
Maybe Ronay didn't want to be in the light. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry. We have to wait now. Sorry. Oh wait, hold on. I'm sorry. I can do this. Go live with how about, I don't know, Nubian 44 Love
Oh,
Me?
Nubian, yeah.
Okay, well hold on.
See, that's those fingernails getting in
I
the
didn't really
Oh my God.
ask you.
You should have manageable fingernails.
Okay, I think this person's gonna pop on in a second. Are they?
Nubian
444.
Are you there?
I don't think so. Okay. We'll pick.
Well, we're not having success with live people.
No, I mean I have bars. I have all bars.
Would you like to
I'm gonna pick chant 12, and then if that doesn't work, we can answer some more
Chant
questions.
like Gregorian chant? Is that what that said?
Chant, yes.
CHANT?
We're waiting for chant _12, not lowercase.
Come on, chant.
Dash.
Be there, please. Hi, Larnie.
Hi, Larnie. Okay.
Is chant coming?
I don't know. But
right.
You know what? I'm gonna cancel this. I'm gonna wait a little bit because we'll answer some submitted questions. Who or what keeps you motivated? You know what keeps me motivated? Like, real talk. I can't show it because I'm using my phone right now. But my grandpa, my mom's dad, was always like, you never keep one job. Like, you always have to have like a regular job and then 2 other jobs, and so that you can save that money.
Wait, you never keep one job, meaning you should have more than one
right,
job.
more than one. Yes, because
we're Jamaicans and we have a
tree
million
job.
jobs.
How are you only going to have tree job?
Right, but the practicality of it is multiple income streams.
Multiple income streams, right? So, also I have this picture of my grandpa, and he's like kind of doing like he has his hands on his hips, like. And so when I'm like, I don't feel like it, I look at that picture and I'm like, all right, grandpa, all right.
Inspiration.
Yeah. Who or what keeps you motivated?
Me?
No, the person behind you.
What keeps me motivated? I don't even know.
Yourself.
I don't even know that I think about that because I don't know what it's like to not be motivated.
That's true. Yeah. No, I feel that. Yeah. How did your relationship with your mom evolve as you became an adult? That's from Mrs. Tasha 76. I mean, it was fun. It was fine. It was okay. I mean, okay, fine. Go ahead. Because now you're going to talk about how I was a terror when I turned 13. But here's my thing though. I got really good grades like the whole time. So I thought I could just, like I wasn't gonna wild out, but I was like, like I'm gonna have like all A's and stuff. Like, let me live. And then she was basically like, yeah. Right?
Did you notice how I talked about you? Or you said that it was going to be me, but you actually did.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's okay. So as Imani became an adult, the evolution was one where, I could get a little heavy here if but it was that if you all have seen on her show Married to Medicine Los Angeles, then you saw the complicated relationship she had with her biological father. She has with her biological father. And that throughout her life has impacted her in a way where sometimes she doesn't like for me to know things. And that's largely because he rewarded her when she was a little girl for not telling me about the affair he was having. This all sort of escalates into a whole different thing.
Right.
So I think that for the two of us, it got a lot better when she realized that I realized that she was going to live her life and that I wanted her to stick with our family mantra, which is don't bring shame upon our family's name.
Is it? I don't remember.
Well, it's all of that. Like, don't do that. So,
but I've still done things that
you have. And I've tried to be understanding, recognizing that your childhood was very different from mine.
Yeah.
Which was, I was largely instructed by my parents in what to do and not to do. Not that I complied all the time, but in your childhood, I let you have your imagination.
I still have an imagination.
Right. And I didn't have much of an imagination because I was told that was foolish.
That's crazy.
Well, that's Jamaican.
That? Oh, okay.
It's stay in reality. Do what you need to do. Come on, let's get this done, right? So it's that.
Okay.
But it evolved to recognizing, particularly after she had Idris, after she had her own son, that my role really was to be her village.
What do you mean? You mean it takes a village to raise a child?
Well, all of that.
But I feel like that's a lot of pressure on you.
Well,
I mean, you can't be one village or like one person.
I'm a village to a few people. Look at all the other people in our family who I'm a village to.
I know, and honestly, like I let you do that and everything.
You
But yes, because when I was growing up, like you always had little mentors and little mentees and stuff. And you know, like I was like, everyone needs to get
Jealous?
away from. No, this isn't jealousy. This was me looking out for you. I'm like, you all need to like. First of all, I'm her daughter. I need for all of y'all to legit fall back.
And I never made you feel that anybody was over you, but your reality was that you wanted to be the gatekeeper as to who could get next to me.
Okay, like I think
how
that's
and why
why and when.
And I thought that was a little strange.
Well, you're a little strange. So okay, let's answer. Hold on. Let me see if people have questions that I can answer. Hold on.
Oh, Michael says, don't hate Imani.
I'm not
Paula
hating
says,
Michael.
Mikey.
Okay, here's a question. Did I receive any pushback on my input regarding Kanye? I think you kept it vague, but we're spot on. I mean, I did, but here's the thing. I mean, like real talk. I only currently in today's times will people get up on Twitter and try to argue with my several years, decades of expertise with mental health and psychiatry. Some of y'all, I was like, legit, y'all need to really fall back because you sound stupid, but it's fine. Like I let y'all live, you know what I'm saying? Like, and a lot of people were like, oh, well, you know, how do you know he has bipolar disorder? I'm like, cause he said it. I mean, so did I receive some? I did. Did I care about it? No, I didn't.
Somebody's saying you might not have hung up really with somebody from before, which is why other people can't.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me.
Please address depression after losing a parent.
I don't know.
That was from Patty Lucas.
I mean,
that's kind of depression period, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've never lost a parent, but I was abandoned by a parent. So I didn't really deal with it very well.
No.
But your parents died pretty quickly, like 2 months,
well,
yeah.
My parents were 88 and 87 when they died 3 months apart.
Mm-hmm.
And they were separated apart from each other from the time I was like 3-4 years old. Right. So I'd always spent my life juggling and trying not to say too much to one parent about the other,
right? For
fear that they would
retaliate
and just blow up, right? So,
well, they also had very explosive personalities,
but you know, again, they're Jamaican,
right?
I think that I spent most of my adult life wanting to make sure that my parents were taken care of,
right?
And I played the role as the primary caretaker for both of them, even though I didn't live with either of them, and at some points I wasn't even in the same city. But that's what I see my responsibility. That's what I see responsibility as a child parent, particularly elderly parent.
Right.
And when they died, when they were 88 and 87, I really wasn't depressed. I wasn't depressed. They had long, meaningful lives. And on top of that, I'm a believer in if a person has a strong energy and people speak about those people with love, then you never really die anyway.
True. It's like Nerd, like the group Nerd, like no one ever really dies.
I don't know.
It's true.
What that is.
It's Pharrell's group, like Pharrell and Chad Hugo from the Neptunes and then their little friend.
Okay, I was just having concern saying nerds regarding my.
No. It's like it's an actual group. It's an actual group. Okay. So, you know what? Let's take some questions. Oh no, let's see who wants to go live. You know what? I'm gonna choose Tiffany Horn and see if this connects.
Come on, Tiffany, come through.
Yeah, I mean, my Wi-Fi is like.
What part of?
Oh, there she goes. Hi.
Hi. First of all, thank you for having me. I'm a big fan.
Oh, I love your hair.
Thank you.
Oh, this, I cut it after I saw Imani. I said, I don't think I can rock it that beautiful.
Yay.
But I was like, her cheekbones, honey, and our melatonin, baby, if she can do it, I can.
Exactly. your hair, your smile, you are
Your
slamming.
skin, everything. Yeah,
Thank you.
of course.
But I'm not a doctor. God has not blessed me with that, but I do teach kids with special needs.
Oh.
I work with kids with autism. And how do you find your balance? Because as a teacher, you know, we're pulled from kids from our school, you're pulled from your patients, and for a doctor, you have long hours. So how do you balance that with your son, which is gorgeous, by the way?
Oh, thanks.
Yes.
I was actually having this conversation, I think yesterday. So, like when I was a kid, right? It was, I mean, it was the 80s, so we didn't, you know, it's different now. Like my mom would legit be like, go outside, do not come back in here unless you have to pee or eat, because like I'm
That's
not
me.
right. Like please go have fun with your friends, and that's what we did. But now with this generation of kids, like, I mean, I feel even kind of dumb to admit that I don't know if I feel comfortable with him just like playing outside and in the street and whatever. So, my mom, so there was a period of time when I was 6 when I moved to New York with my grandmother, but my parents, my mom and my biological dad, they were still in Texas. And that, I mean,
We were in Fort Worth.
they were in no, y'all were in Arlington.
We were in Arlington, but I worked in Fort Worth.
So I kind of took the same stance with my son. Like, he naturally likes to be around other people. So whether he's here or at my parents' house or like at his play cousin's house, like he just likes to mix and mingle with a lot of different people. So I pretty much supported that. And I guess, you know, that's kind of how, I mean, that's how I deal with, you know, him being entertained during the day. But I think the main thing is that I just know how to multitask pretty well. But I will also say that since I'm not depressed anymore, I'm very good at like rescheduling stuff and just being like, you know, I can't do this. Because sometimes like I just, like as a doctor, so let's say the year's 2020. So since 2000, I've been grinding like the whole time, like med school, residency, fellowship. I had a kid in residency. And so there was just a lot going on. But now that I'm not in that rut of having to take on so much, like, yeah, like last week I was like, yeah, this seems cool, but you know what? I'm not going to make it. So we need to reschedule that.
So you learned to say no.
Oh yeah. Like
Yeah.
and what's funny is I used to tell people like, you know, no is a complete sentence. You could tell people no, but then I would just be like, but if I say no, they're gonna feel bad. I don't want them to feel bad. But now I don't care, so it's great.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Well,
Now,
thank
I'm
you
sorry.
so much.
Thank you. Can you do one favor? My son wants to see you. He says, Mommy, can I please come see her?
Yeah.
He wants to see. Come on, Malachi, Isaiah. I have two, 12 and 13 and 9.
Oh,
This
nice.
is
Malachi and Isaiah, hi.
This is my young king, Malachi, and that's Isaiah.
Hi.
How are you?
That is her.
It is me. It's Imani.
It's really
So
her.
I
Yeah.
love their names, and the names of the boys in our family are Ishmael, Amir, Idris.
Yes.
There's also an Andre, but you know, right, their
My
parents got the French thing going, but very much Arabic and biblical.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I don't want to hold you guys because I know other people
Thank
want to come
you.
No,
on,
it's
but
all
thank
good.
you and blessings.
Bye, Malachi.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, let me try to.
Okay, someone has asked that you talk about your relationship with your sister and how you guys are doing now.
Oh, you know what? I actually talked to my sister today. I talked to her today. She's doing well from what I understand. So actually I'm supposed to call my nephew Tyson tomorrow. So she's great. Like it is kind of funny how similar we are, despite the fact that we like only really kind of just met. But yeah, I actually talked to her today. She's good. Hi, Jasmine. If you're on here. Okay, let's see. What else? I don't know Portuguese, but
okay, let's see. How do you feel about using CBD supplements for treating anxiety?
So, all right. So here, this is what I'll say as a doctor who has a license in California. So as we all know, marijuana and marijuana products are still federally regulated, but obviously California, Colorado, I think like New York recently did, like a lot of different states actually have okayed the use of either marijuana for medicinal use or for recreational use. I usually tell my patients that if they have ever had a psychotic episode, meaning they've heard voices or they, had seen hallucinations or had, any type of serious delusions or paranoia, I'll tell them, marijuana is not for you. I had a patient who came into the hospital. I think he came 3 times, but he was really young. Not like super young, but he was like 18, 19. And he would like smoke all day, like smoke weed all day, and then get paranoid and then like, become very physically assaultive with either his family or like strangers. So I just told him, I was like, it's not for you. Like you can't smoke weed. You can't do anything.
So my friend Danette Chinloy is saying it's ganja.
Yes, there are several names for it.
But on the island?
On the island.
Ganja.
It's ganja. Okay. So yeah, I mean, really, that's what I tell my patients, which basically means that the patients that I see, who, I mean, a large majority of them do have a history of psychosis or psychotic episodes. But I'm like, no, like, sorry, but you didn't win that lottery. So, here's a question. Mom, what was your first reaction to Dr. Imani, me, joining Married to Medicine LA?
Not happy.
Yeah, she was like, you're not going to like it.
Not happy.
You're not
Not happy. I was not happy. I spent my whole career either in journalism or newspaper journalism, television journalism, and then I went on to run TV stations and run diversity for NBC Universal. And so I had been around television, making television production virtually my entire career. And I thought that it was going to be way too invasive for her. And also I thought that the ratchet behavior that I was afraid would occur. And she actually, Imani mentioned, maybe on your podcast, I don't remember, but something about how I'm your manager. And what that means is that because I have worked in this profession, in this industry for so long, that I told her that I was going to write up a contract. I am her manager. She pays me $1 a year.
I thought it was $100.
No, it's $1.
Oh, okay.
And
I'll buy that for $1.
Well, you also...
That's a RoboCop reference. It's fine.
What you also buy for that is my invasion into your dealings. So
you're negotiate anyway.
I negotiate her contracts, but most importantly, as far as I'm concerned, I offer her guidance so that what doesn't happen is she step into a situation that I think is going to be demeaning for her and for our family. So,
right. Actually, she had to talk me out of something last week. I didn't do anything. I'm not going to get into it, but I'm better now. So
yeah, but I've also negotiated all kinds of contracts.
You have. I'm just saying in turn, like you called me like, yo, don't do it, and I was like, all right, I'm not going to do it. Although I should do it.
No, you
but
should
I'm not going to.
You will look very.
I look stupid, but I would be right. So whatever.
Well, being right is not always the end goal.
I don't know if that's really true. Okay, fine.
You can be bright and broke.
So rude. Oh my God. Okay, fine. Okay, hold on. Let's see some questions. People say you look like Viola Davis, and no, you don't.
Well, I think it's more my voice and my demeanor.
I'm like, nah.
But I do have a project coming up that.
Can you talk about it yet or no?
Well, I can talk about it.
Okay, well, go ahead.
So the book that I wrote following the documentary that we shot about finding our family members in China. And before anybody goes, oh, why is it always China? We first started looking for family members ancestrally in Jamaica. And it wasn't until sometime last year that I even found out the name of my great-great-grandfather. Never seen the name. Don't know where.
What's his name?
One of my grandfathers even went.
Oh, you're talking about on the Jamaican side? Of the
on the Jamaican side, right. So the issue for us, surprisingly, was I was able to find my mother's my Jamaican mother's Chinese ancestors and family a lot faster than I could find the African Jamaican folks, and that's because slavery got in the way.
And also duppies.
So for all of you who are wondering, the duppies are malevolent spirits in Jamaica, and they are attracted to newborns and babies and so forth. And so what you might see is people, when their birth certificate is finally produced, the date of birth may be wrong. The first name may be a different first name. It could be all kinds of things, and that's because the belief is that you have to hide the baby from the duppy. So you change some of the factual information.
Thanks a lot for just having all these duppies out here looking for me, because you didn't even do that.
But my friends own Brown Estate wineries up in Napa, and they have an amazing wine called
Duppy
Conqueror.
How did I know? I guessed that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we are Chinese. Somebody said you Chinese too. Yes, we are.
Yes.
Hakka from present-day Shenzhen. Our village is called Lo Shui Hao.
Right.
And we found 300 plus of my grandfather's direct descendants in China who welcomed us into the family. And it was great. It's still great.
Yeah, no, it's awesome.
So my project is that we will be shooting a multi-part television series to air in the United States and China to tell the history and story of why there are Black Chinese people.
Yeah. Okay, let's see.
My kids are mixed with Jamaican Chinese. Oh, okay. JC, who is that? Christine C. Young.
Somebody asked, why am I so mean to Jasmine? Next. I'm not even answering that. Like, y'all are tripping. Let's see.
Do you talk politics? My thoughts on Kamala Harris.
Yeah, we talk about politics all the time, actually.
We do. And
yeah.
Kamala Harris is a dear friend.
So before anybody says anything like that, yeah, they actually are friends.
We actually are.
Don't get wild in these comments.
Yeah, don't get wild. We really are friends. And I have been a member of her campaign finance committee for 10 plus years.
Me too.
For Imani too. And
oh, well, I was just, okay.
Yeah, and her
Have
sister.
I been?
No.
Oh.
Her sister, Maya, the two of them actually spent a few days, maybe 4 or 5 days at our house in Martha's Vineyard when they were waiting for their house to open up. So we've been friends for years, fellow yardies, and you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
It's my Kamala Harris.
That's your, yes, we're aware of that.
Okay.
Okay, so maybe we should go pick somebody.
Hi, Deb Langford.
Hi, Deb Langford. Hi.
What made you decide to do the big chop? Is that for you?
Probably.
Yeah.
Okay, so why? Well, okay, so here's the real. My hair has been short since I was probably in like 7th grade. There were periods of time where I would grow it out, but I had like a teeny weeny afro, then I had like a flat top, then like I had a perm, and then like, you know, I went to college, had the Halle Berry, but then I went down to Xavier, and my roommate Kim
put those braid things in.
Okay, and then my roommate Kim had the same haircut as me, and I was like, we can't both be in this room looking like dorks.
Halle Berry.
Right, the Halle Berry haircut.
Who I also know. Yes,
you do know her. Her hair is different now. But that being said, I mean, I was just like, I don't care, I cut it. Plus, that was the summer that Jeanne came out, and I remember people were like, oh, you look just like her. I was like, actually, I look like me, and she looks like her. No shade, but I don't really like being compared to other people. But yeah, I cut it off then. And then I remember people being like, I remember one person asked me, oh, you have a boyfriend, right? Like, did he let you do that? I was like, you sound crazy. I'm not going to have this conversation with you. And then another person asked me, oh, well, does your mom know? I'm like, yeah. I mean,
her mom was.
Right. I'm like, I mean, so
was her stepdad.
And you were actually, so my mom was like, oh, when you graduated from Xavier, this is like 20 minutes ago. When you graduated from Xavier, people really weren't clapping for you. I was like, I don't really care. I really wasn't on campus like that. But I guess I'm saying all that to say that, you know, I just had a different frame of mind than I think, you know, some of the people I went to school with. Like, I'm not from the South. I didn't grow up with
New Orleans. My husband's from New Orleans. We're the Madisons. The Madisons from near Chapatula Street.
Okay, so I guess I answered that question because you just wanted to
from Homa
and barge in and do whatever. Okay.
Somebody asked about lupus and depression. Do they go together?
Yeah, pretty much autoimmune disorders and depression can go together. So I have fibromyalgia. I also have a history of depression. Fibromyalgia is an autoimmune disorder. But yeah, so anytime you have autoimmune things, even diabetes, like especially type 1, which in a way is actually autoimmune because your body's attacking your islets of Langerhans and your pancreas. Doctor. So so yeah, it's pretty common actually. Hold on. I was gonna choose this person. Hold on. I was gonna choose this person because
For liveness?
For liveness.
Okay.
I can't see, I don't see it. Oh, here it is. No, I don't see it now.
Someone asked, do you think your relationship with your father had an effect on your romantic relationships?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it did. Do you want to explain this?
Well,
Because you always tell me about myself. Like, you like people that are very attractive and charming, but they don't really have a whole lot else to offer.
well, I think that first of all, we need to establish that the first man that a girl falls in love with is her father.
True.
And the importance of how her father treats her.
It's very important.
It's very important because that's how that little girl will define a man she loves as she grows older. In Imani's case, her biological father is very handsome,
yeah,
very athletic, really smart, and came from a very, very dysfunctional and broken family. And while my family was somewhat dysfunctional,
well, maybe that was part of
it was not
appeal.
Well, it was nothing like his.
No.
But I think that women and girls have to be careful and know that it's a feeling of familiarity, right? So if you grow up in a household where there's arguing, if you grow up in a household where there's intimidation, if you grow up in a household where there's cheating, no matter how bad all those things are, they're still familiar to you. It makes you feel like home.
Right.
And you have to be careful that that is not what you seek in your own relationship.
Right.
But a lot of times that won't become apparent until it's way too late. So in my case, I found a man who was could have been a good provider, who was really smart like my dad, who was somewhat distant too like my dad. And I believed that after we married that I would learn to love him. Why would I marry him if I didn't already think I loved him? Because we were in the Nation of Islam. We were in the so-called Black Muslims, and we knew that we had a lot of the same philosophies. But for us, where we obeyed the rule of no sex before marriage, everything was on the up and up. And of course, that meant that we got married quickly.
Y'all had to go. All right, I don't even. Well, but y'all's dates were chaperoned.
Our dates were chaperoned. It was very formal in that if you're not married, you cannot sit in the front seat. You both can't sit in the front seat. So if you're not married, and the male drives and the female sits in the back seat, it was very formal like that. This is in the days of Elijah Muhammad and Minister Farrakhan and so forth. But ultimately, I think that for Imani, as I mentioned earlier, he rewarded her when she kept his secret about having an affair. Until
he told me not to say anything. And then I was like, word. And then I went.
And then she told me. And then that was the beginning of the divorce proceedings. But with all of that said, I would urge all women and young girls to understand that you can't bring just any man around your daughter. You can't let just any man have access to your daughter. Even at the age of 3 years old, they start to formulate their definition of a husband, a lover, a boyfriend from that. So be very careful and be very, very discriminating.
Yes, definitely. Well, I don't know if I want to answer that question. Okay.
How did Imani know of the affair?
I was his alibi. I was with him. Like we would usually hang out on the weekends, and then he would go and kick it with this chick. And so that's pretty much, that's pretty much what happened. I mean, it was fine when it was me and him, but then,
And by the way, let me just say this. I think and thought then way too much of myself. to ever put up with that kind of cheating. And no, you ain't getting in my bed if you sleeping in somebody else's bed. It was all going to be done quick and over.
Right.
And as I said to him at the time, Khalila Ali said to Muhammad Ali, whatever you do, don't have an affair. And he did. I repeated to my then husband, listen, if there's ever a point where you think you are done with me and need to move on, let's talk about it. But what you don't get to do
is play me like I'm stupid.
And when the time came, it was, so here's how it's going to go. I get the house. I get full custody of our daughter. You, of course, have visitation. You get your clothes, your record collection. Everything you brought into this marriage, you get to take. And anything else is all mine. And what you don't want to do is cross me. That is the black girl from Harlem coming out. Because what you never want to do is get so far away from your roots that you're not willing to do in order to get shit done.
Cursing.
Sorry.
Someone said someone wrote a comment. Someone wrote a comment on by post today, like, I really like you, but like, could you stop cursing? And I was like, no, I'm sorry. No, I can't do that. Okay, so Jahan K Knight, I'm adding you. I know, because Jahan is my middle name, so I'm a little bit, what's word am I looking for? I'm a little bit skewed. Hi,
Imani.
Oh, look how cute you are.
How are you?
God. I'm good. How are you? I'm going to turn up the volume. Sorry. There you go. Okay.
So I just wanted to say, even though Mom didn't want you to do the show, I'm so glad you did.
Oh, wait, where are you
from?
Where are you from?
I'm from Jamaica.
Oh, nice. Where are you calling from?
Florida. I live in Florida now, but I was born in Jamaica.
Are you in Fort Lauderdale?
No, I'm in Pembroke Pines, which is 20 minutes away.
I've been to Pembroke Pines. Oh yeah, I know. It's all the Jamaicans are there.
That's why I'm not there.
Did you have a question? Hi, Son of Baldwin. Do you have a question?
Well, yes, I did, and it's more clinical, I think.
Okay.
Okay, so I know that you've disclosed on the show that you suffer from depression, and I want to know what made you decide to seek help, because as a psychiatrist or as somebody in the psychiatry world, we're usually like in denial about those things. So what made you decide at that point to seek help?
Okay, so let me see. So this was back. So here's the funny thing. I actually went to an OB-GYN because, and I mean, you could call it TMI, but I'm a doctor. I don't really care. I wanted to change my method of birth control from an IUD that didn't have hormones to one that did, because one of my friends who's also an OB-GYN was like, oh, you know what, like that might help with my PMS symptoms. So I went to the OB-GYN, and basically in 5 minutes she was like, well, if you have depression and anxiety, and I can see how you look right now, you probably have premenopausal dysphoric disorder.
Okay.
Sorry, not premenstrual dysphoric disorder. I'm not menopausal.
Like menopausal.
I'm not menopausal. Premenstrual dysphoric disorder. And she was like, especially because you have a history of depression and anxiety.
Menopause rocks. Let me just say that.
So all I was saying before I was interrupted is that I would get really I'd have really bad mood swings. Like I would get not for real homicidal, but it would be really, really bad, and I'd be really tired and all this other stuff. So she was like, yo, actually you can keep your IUD. You should probably try Prozac. And I was like, you should try Prozac. I don't even know you like that. So she sent she sent the prescription for Prozac to the pharmacy, right? So when I left, I was like, oh, let me call my mom. Now, because my mom is so warm and fuzzy and everything, she's not. She was like, well, I'm glad somebody told you, because you've been out here acting all different and you've been depressed forever and you need to take that medication. I was like, whatever, Mom. And click. I didn't do that. But
if you ever saw our interaction on the show, how many times have I said to her, you need to be in therapy. You need to see a doctor, because I knew she was depressed. She's been depressed for a really long time. and pushes back hard and fought it. And I was so excited when her guy said, "Girl, you need to take some medication."
You didn't sound excited. You sounded mad.
No.
But yes, you did.
I would have run to the pharmacy and gotten it for myself.
Mad. I was mad at you.
You were mad.
I was like, first of all, you don't even know me like that. Okay, like you need to fall back. so we went. So I went to.
Nobody knows you better than I do.
Okay. Anyway, so I went to the pharmacy. I went to the Walgreens, and I picked it up, and I was like, you know what? Fine. I'm gonna show everybody. I'm gonna take it. Fine. And then I took it. And then 3 days later, I felt great.
And I said, oh my God, thank the Lord that this girl took this medication that is balancing her chemistry.
I'm not a girl because I'm grown.
Oh my gosh.
This girl was ignoring for years that she has a chemical imbalance. And when she took the Prozac, it was almost overnight. My husband and I were like, thank you, God. Thank you for finally getting her to that place. And her son says, this is the happiest I've ever seen my mom.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Within days.
Thank you, Imani's mom, for answering the second part of my question, because I wanted to know, like, as a mom, what did you think about the diagnosis? And, it seems as though you're very supportive.
I am very supportive. Look, I will tell you that it was probably a year and a half ago that, because Imani is a professional and can look back through her life, she said to me, Ma, Grandma was bipolar. And I said, what? And she said, Grandma was bipolar. And why do you say that? So she gave me the reasons why. I probably sat there for a good 3 minutes, and I'm not sure that I took a breath.
You did, though.
And
or else you wouldn't be living.
Well, eventually I did. Shut up. So what happened was that forced me to look back on my mother's behavior. I'd always known my mother's behavior was a little different. If she got riled up, it took that long for her to get riled up, and she would scream, and she would sometimes punch herself in the chest, and I'd go sit down. This is from childhood. I'd go sit down quietly to just let it work out. But she also was brilliant.
Right.
She was brilliant, and she was very motivating and very lioness. This is a woman who looked Chinese, who raised 3 Black children in Harlem and was separated from her husband. So for me, once Imani explained to me what the symptoms are and how it manifests itself, I was like, wow. The upside, I will say this, as the child of a person who was bipolar, my mother had a singular focus. You will be successful. You will not get pregnant at the age of 13, 14, 15. You will be wealthy. And my mother was hawkish over that. And all those things came to be. If my mother had not focused that hard and that strong and been that, bullish on it, I don't know. I mean, seriously, we grew up on welfare in Harlem. So this is a circumstance where I will attest to that single-mindedness, not wanting to interact with other people, watching over. For me, it ended up being a benefit that my mother suffered from bipolar disorder. Okay. If not, I don't know that I would be who I am today.
Okay. Thank you so much, you guys, for answering me. I appreciate it.
No, I'm glad I got to meet you, because I know sometimes you will leave comments on my posts and stuff. So so it's good to meet you.
Good to meet you. Have a good night, ladies.
Okay, you too. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Okay. Look. Oops. Okay. Now we're back. Okay. Someone asked, and I can answer this really quickly. Like, I think because we were just discussing bipolar disorder, does it run in families? It does. From the latest thing that I saw today is that bipolar disorder can show up 75% of the time in offspring if you have it.
My sister-in-law, hi Zoe.
Hi Zonelle. But also environmental factors do play a role as well. But it's both genetic and environmental. So genotype and phenotype, I guess, is for all you nerds
And
out there.
interestingly, so again, and going back to China, and so in 2012 we went to China, and by 2014 is when I learned that my first cousin, one of my 40 plus first cousins, who is fully Chinese, his son has bipolar disorder. And one of my other first cousins, who's same mixed race as I am, her father and my mother are African Jamaicans and Chinese. Her daughter is bipolar. So in that generation, which is Imani's generation, there are three second cousins, all of whom have bipolar disorder. One who's fully Chinese, two one who is mixed, and the other one would be one level down. So it's male and female, and it's race is not an issue.
Right. I wanted to answer this question because it came up a couple times. Is there a correlation between drug abuse and mental illness? So first of all, drug abuse, or rather, what am I trying to say? Drug dependence is a mental illness. So if you look up in the DSM, which is basically the psychiatric Bible, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual for Mental Disorders, we're on volume 5. It goes into people who there's like a chapter on substance abuse. So there's abuse, but then there's also dependence, which is when essentially you need more and more of the substance or the drug in order to feel the high. And some people, unfortunately, I actually work at a detox and rehab center. Some of those people, they basically will keep doing the drug, not to get high anymore, but just not to get sick. So they come in detox and I help them with that. But I mean, to answer your question, drug abuse / substance abuse / substance or drug dependence is a mental illness. So if they're kind of one and the same.
Well, the other part of it too is that there's the whole notion of self-medication.
Right. Okay. So actually, I talked about this a little bit on my podcast a couple weeks ago. So one of the really good examples that I can think of is when it comes to people who abuse opiates, like let's say heroin or Percocet or OxyContin, all that stuff. So what I've seen in some patients is that they may have had a surgery and their doctor gave them, let's use OxyContin for like 3 to 6 months. And then their doctor at the sixth or seventh month appointment is like, yo, I can't give you this anymore because now you've developed a tolerance to this medication, and they get cut off. And then for some of my patients, they were like, well, yeah, I just had to go out and like look for heroin because they didn't want to get sick. So, so essentially, a lot of people do end up self-medicating. People who are depressed can sometimes may have an issue with alcoholism. People who are bipolar, like the mania that they experience, the euphoric feeling they have. And so they will seek out stimulants like methamphetamines or cocaine in order to feel that way again. So, so in any case, what I'm saying is self-medicating is definitely something that I see a lot in people who have issues with addiction.
And then there are people who can use drugs recreationally,
right?
And others who cannot use it recreationally. And sometimes what you'll find is those people are people who really do have, not always, but sometimes it's because of a mental illness, and these drugs that they're taking make them feel better than they feel if they weren't taking them. Me, I don't like getting high. It makes me, one time, it made me paranoid. I'm never going to do it again. And then there's my daughter who absolutely loves marijuana. And
why you gotta tell everybody on here?
Well, we're in the state of California. It's all legal. And you're a Jamaican descent. I'm the unusual one in that I don't enjoy.
Look at all these hearts now. Y'all are so dry. Y'all are so dry. And
anyway,
I have anxiety and depression, and it helps me.
I have anxiety.
And I also
don't
have body
depression.
aches, and like the cannabis like creams
All I'm saying is that for some people,
Can't believe you are on eternal punishment. I swear.
for some people, the feeling that narcotics produces, even recreationally, is so good that then they can't just leave it as recreational. They need it, right? If they were to go to a physician, what might happen is they actually might be prescribed a medication that is a substitute for what they are themselves taking.
Right. I mean, I had somebody just straight come to psych ER and was like, yo, I need them Xannies. I was like, you know what? Bye. I'm like, I'm not like, the chief complaint cannot be, I want Xannies.
Wow.
Yeah. And then that person called me racist because she was Black. She was like, you're racist. I was like, all right. I mean,
Because you wouldn't give her Xannies?
yeah, yes. I was like, please stop playing on my phone.
You mean a white person would have given her Xannies?
I don't know. I mean,
I'm trying to understand where the racism came
I don't know. We
Okay.
have 5 minutes though.
Okay.
Okay, you know what? Let me try to do a question. I'm sorry I couldn't get to everybody's. What made you do Married to Medicine? I actually kind of answered that like a couple weeks ago. I just
Well, somebody just asked, what's the difference between dementia and Alzheimer's?
so Alzheimer's is a type of dementia. So there's various.
My
types of
sister-in-law
dementia.
says she's with you because she has ADD, and so apparently marijuana
It does help.
helps.
You talking about Zonell?
Mm-hmm. She just came.
Oh
on
yeah,
and said,
Zonell. Okay.
You know what? You didn't have to say her name.
Oh,
out loud.
sorry. Okay, fine. Sorry. Let me. But no, it doesn't even matter because now we're blowing up everyone's spot apparently because you don't know how to like deal with.
I didn't say it. I
don't tell you stuff because you be like, oh, for real, Imani be puffing big L's.
Do you think mental health is high in other ethnicities? You mean mental illness? Everybody has mental illness. But ours is complicated because of racism.
Right. Exactly. I don't. There's no face to mental illness, like for real. So, let's see. Oh, okay. Here's a really quick question. What advice do I have for someone who's almost done with grad school, practicing to become a licensed psychiatric counselor, an LPC in the Midwest? Should I consider relocating? In this day and age, honestly, telemedicine and telepsychiatry is really just the way we're going to have to be doing things. And it's really big. I've been seeing all of my patients via video conference or on the phone because I can't get sick. If I get sick, that's like 300 patients that really won't get the adequate care. So that being said, if you want to leave and relocate, you could, but quite honestly, you could stay where you are. And I get like, for those of you all who are doctors or nurses, like I get locums, questions like every day, like, oh, do you want to work in Arizona? Oh, do you want to work here? Or do you want to work there? I don't think it would be a hindrance if you stayed where you were at, unless you just really were like, I need to get out of here.
So real quick, somebody just said that they're having a very difficult time with their 87-year-old parent who's suffering from dementia, and she's 37, and it's just hard.
Yeah,
it is really hard.
It is hard.
And it's hard because my dad said something that stopped me in my tracks, which he said you never know how it feels when no one who knew you as a child is alive. And then the phrase sad. It's very sad. So sad. Once a man, twice a child. And the difficulty,
that's so terrible.
Well, the difficulty is that you want to honor them because they're your parents, but sometimes they don't recognize you. My mother didn't recognize me for the last 4 years of her life.
She didn't recognize me either. Even though I brought her pizza on a rag, but it's fine. Right. It's cool, Grandma.
But it's difficult, and the only thing that I can say is try to hang on to the good parts of your relationship when they were lucid and when they did know you. Other than that, it's really just going to be very difficult. And hopefully what you can do is take some solace in knowing that you're giving love, even if you can't get the love back.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like, this might sound messed up, but I don't think so. It's kind of like when when I have patients who, like I have some patients I have are elderly, and they still have severe mental illness, but because they're elderly, sometimes like an electrolyte might be out of whack and then it throws something off, or a medication they may have been on for a long time. Suddenly it's like, it's too much for them.
1 minute.
Okay. So in any case, we have 1 minute left. What you want to say? Oh wait, did you talk about your little show?
It's going to be a television series about Black and Chinese people, and it'll be shot in Harlem and Jamaica and China. And my goal is to have a very long, lingering love scene between a Chinese man and a Black Jamaican woman.
Okay,
that's how
literally
my
5
grandparents
seconds.
did this.
Okay.
That's why there are Black
Bye.
Chinese people.